Hello again. The aim of Black History Month is a fairly reasonable one to which few of us would really object. It is to make black people, especially children, feel good about themselves. Society in Britain and America is crammed full of things which white people have done, made, built or invented, and Black History Month is an opportunity to remind black people that they too have achieved many things, and that it is not only white people who have done interesting and important stuff. If Black History Month simply stuck to this, I doubt anybody would have anything negative to say about it. I would certainly not be making videos such as this one. The problem is, though, this is not at all what happens during October in Britain. Instead of simply sticking to things which have actually happened, everything has to be exaggerated or simply made up. So it is that during the Second World War, a black doctor played an important role in arranging for supplies of blood to come to Britain. This was a real achievement, of course. However, during Black History Month, we are told that a black American called Charles Drew invented the blood bank, which is preposterous nonsense. In the late 19th century, a talented black American draftsman helped draw up patent specifications for various developments in electric light bulbs and other things. That was a pretty great achievement for a black man in the 1880s whose parents had been slaves. This, though, is presented as a black man called Howard Latimer invented the electric light bulb, which is ridiculous. If those organising this event just stuck to the truth, it would be an interesting month. The silly exaggerations and distortions just make the whole thing look absurd. At least the two instances which I have given have some foundation in reality, but this is not enough. During Black History Month, African history is a big thing, and because before the arrival of white Europeans there wasn't much going on in that part of the world, various civilizations are simply invented. When I say invented, I mean they are made up. They are imaginary. I mentioned yesterday the earthworks in Nigeria, which are now described as the walls of Benin, because there were not any actual walls. Nor were there any ancient civilizations in Africa. These two are modern inventions. Here's a standard book about ancient civilizations. It's edited by Arthur Cottrell. It's a Penguin Encyclopedia of Ancient Civilizations. This was published in 1980. Let me just run through the list of contents for you. It's divided into sections. First section is about Egypt. There's a whole load of stuff about ancient Egypt. Then there's West Asia, which mentioned Babylon, Assyria, the Hittites and so on. India, that's got the Indus civilizations, Mohenjo-Daro, places like that. Europe, Minoans, classical Greece, Rome and so on. China, the Shang dynasty and such like, and in America the Olmecs, the Maya, the Aztecs. Egypt is mentioned, and so is Carthage, both of which are technically in Africa, but that's all. What about the civilization of Benin or Zimbabwe? We hear about them during Black History Month. Why are they not mentioned in books like that, published 40 years ago? The reason is, of course, that there was no civilization at Zimbabwe. There were some dry stone walls, true, the purpose of which we do not really know, but were probably religious. And in the shadow of those walls were many mud huts with thatched roofs. The people of Zimbabwe had no written language, and although they traded extensively, especially gold, their primitive culture could not really be called a civilization. Benin was a collection of buildings made of mud, surrounded by ditches and piles of earth, rather like an Iron Age hill fort in Britain before the arrival of the Romans. Think Maiden Castle, for example. just as those Iron Age hill forts were not part of a civilization, nor was Benin. If Black History Month could actually consist of historical facts, unembellished and simply presented, it might be an interesting celebration. As it is, though, the whole thing has become an exercise in the telling of ever taller tales and more fantastic stories, until it's on the verge of becoming a laughing stock.